My personal home just paid me $126,000.
And mine just paid me over 6 figures as well.
Today we're going to talk about the benefits of home ownership
and why you should own a home and not rent. It is no secret that everyone has at least heard this one time that the easiest way to become wealthy is to invest in real estate. And what better way to start with your personal property?
Today, we're going to discuss the top 4 reasons why you should own a property versus rent a property.
And take it from us, because we're homeowners as well. At the end of the video, we're going to show you exactly how our homes wrote us checks for over 6 figures. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and stay to the end of the video so you do not miss any of this.
So the most common misconception is it costs way too much money to buy versus rent. And that's just not true. So historically speaking, the percentage of income needed to afford the median price rent is 26% of your income. That's your annual salary. That's a lot, but it's actually trended upward since then. Present day, average percentage of income needed to rent is now 27%, so it's gone up over time. However, when we look at owning real estate, percentage of income needed to afford the median priced home historically was 21%. Well, now it's gone down to 16% due to low interest rates and creative financing structures and mortgage programs out there available in the market. So it's truly costing you less to purchase than it is to rent.
So now that we've addressed that preconceived notion and basically completely thrown it out the window, we need to get into some other benefits of why you should be owning your own property. One of the first things is the actual mortgage payment versus the rent payment. That's something we need to dissect and have you understand that when you pay your mortgage, you're almost like paying yourself. You're paying towards equity in the property that you own, which is gaining value over time, versus a rent payment, which is going directly to your landlord and actually helping them pay off their asset and helping build their wealth.
So now that we talked about building your landlord's wealth instead of yours when you rent a property, let's talk about the actual payments. When you own a home and get a conventional mortgage, you have a 30-year fixed rate there. That means your payments don't change for 30 years. They stay the same. However, as a landlord, when you rent, they're always going to increase your payments year over year by at least 3% a year. So your payments are always going up when you rent and they're staying the same when you buy.
So the next factor we want to talk about is actual property appreciation. And this is only going to happen if you're the owner of that property. So again, comparing buying versus renting. When you buy a property, you're invested in that property, you own it, and as its value appreciates over time, you are the sole benefactor of that increased value. Now, opposed to when you rent and you're paying that rental to your landlord, that landlord's gonna take advantage of the asset's appreciation over time, and you have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, there's really no true benefit to paying the landlord rent. You're really taking your money and throwing it in the trash. You never see it back. Appreciation's really helped us over the years, and I'm really excited to tell you guys about that here in a few minutes. Both Jesse and I were able to take huge advantage of appreciation on our personal homes. So this is why they say some of the most successful people on the planet are always invested in real estate, because they're investing into appreciation of assets.
So now when it comes to appreciation, sometimes you honestly don't have to do any active activities to make that happen. Appreciation just happens with the market. It absolutely can. Now there are other things that you can do, which we've done, to actively improve the value of your property and actively force that appreciation. And that's where rehab items like fixing up the property, doing some cosmetic changes, or renovating the property come into play. But you don't always have to do that. Sometimes just the fact that you're the owner and you wait a certain amount of time makes you benefit at the end of the day.
So when we're comparing renting versus owning, we're talking about on the rental side, it's gonna cost you at least 3% more a year to stay at that property that you don't own. But when you own the property, we're talking about appreciation. That asset and your amount of money that you could gain from that property is gonna go up 5 to 7% a year. That's a major swing in value.
And now I can already hear the comments chirping, well, what about depreciation? So save your fingers some time and don't even type them. Here's what I think about depreciation is the market is always gonna have cycles. You're gonna see property values go up and you're gonna see them come back down. But again, what we're referring to is more of a long-term hold. After all, when you purchase a property, you're most likely gonna have a 30-year fixed rate mortgage on it. 30 years is a long time, and although there might be appreciation and depreciation cycles within that 30-year, overall, you're definitely going to be trending upward, as real estate has proven time and time again.
So let's get into the fun stuff. The customization of owning a home versus the lack of freedom of when you rent a home and you have to ask the landlord for everything you want to do to it, including painting the walls your favorite color. In our homes, it's what we love to do. We're flippers, we're investors, we love designing, we love modifying our properties. And as you can see from some photos here, this is my personal home. We've completely customized it. I put new kitchen island in, and I've done a lot of work inside because I enjoy the freedom of owning my own home and doing what I want to do with it. And you just can't do that when you rent.
No, and you know what? If your style changes and your preferences change, you're free to go ahead and order new materials and have that home changed next week if you want. But you definitely cannot do that when you're renting a property and somebody else owns it. So there is an element of freedom that comes along with owning your own property. There is an element of security that comes along with knowing that I am going to be in this place with exactly this much cost for the next 30 years, and I don't have to change anything if I don't want to. Whereas if I'm renting a property, I may have a 6-month or a year-long lease, and there's no definite guarantee that I'm gonna be able to stay here a year from now. So you're kind of always wondering where I'm gonna be in the future.
Yeah, you can't really make it feel like yours, right? You're always feeling like you're living in someone else's property. And it's also kind of weird knowing that multiple people have lived there before you as well. So living in your own home, making it yours, that is a huge benefit and a huge kind of intangible feeling of owning versus renting.
So there's another advantage we don't want to talk about, and we don't have to get too much into the weeds to it in this video at least, but there are tax advantages of owning your own property as well. Just an example of a small one is every month when you pay your mortgage payment, that payment is comprised of principal and interest that's paid on your loan. Well, at the end of the year, when you go to file your taxes, as a homeowner, you can actually write off that mortgage interest portion that you've been paying all year.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of living in America and being a homeowner is they actually want to reward you for owning and buying real estate, and utilizing real estate for tax benefits is one of the best ways to do it. So now that we shared with you our opinions on why it's so much more beneficial to own a home than rent a home, we're super excited today to share how homeownership has benefited us just recently, actually.
Yeah, so earlier we mentioned that we had each taken home a check for 6 figures, over 6 figures, for each of our homes. Now, what we've been able to do is apply a lot of those principles that we covered in this video already to our own homes. And what that did at the end of the day was basically set us up for reaping the benefits of home ownership.
That's right. We both bought our homes. I think I bought mine in 2017 and you bought yours in 2018. I bought mine for $400,000 and Jesse's was?
Like 430, 440.
440. And today, after 4 years of appreciation, just as we talked about previously in the video, my home just appraised for $690,000.
And mine just appraised for $675,000.
So almost $300,000 in appreciation has been earned in the last 3 years. So going further into that, what are we able to do? We're able to take advantage of today's financing and today's rates and do what we call a cash out refinance, which is where we take some of that equity out of the property and actually we lowered our terms as well.
Right, so back a few years ago when we bought the properties, rates were a lot higher than they are today. So by us being able to go and refinance, we lowered our rate, which actually didn't change our payment very much, and we were able to tap into the equity that has built up into our homes. And now we can go use it for whatever the hell we want, but I'm probably gonna invest it.
Yeah, probably gonna buy some more homes with it. But I was able to take $126,000 out. So even though the home's appraised at $690,000, I have a new loan at $500,000. So there's still $200,000 in equity in the house, even though I just took $126,000 out.
Not only that, but over the past 4 and 3 years, we've been able to pay our mortgage payments, which are adding to the equity in the homes that we own, which added to helping us do this in the first place, instead of paying a landlord all that money. We were able to enjoy all the freedom of home ownership and styling and changing the home and customizing it any way we want. The security of having our own home and knowing it's going to be there this year, year after next. We've been able to enjoy all of those benefits of home ownership for the last few years and reap the rewards this year.
It's a big year for us. You know, I'm really happy that we're able to do that. It just shows that we do practice what we preach. We love home ownership, and we really suggest that you guys go out and buy a home if you don't have one already. And if you have any questions on how to buy a home, drop a comment below. We're always happy to help with that.
Absolutely. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video, and until then,
We'll see you on the flip side.